I am Camilla Richter, co-creator of the Digital Transformation Roadmap, a series designed to equip CXOs for their self-directed DX journey. Joining me today is Rob Maeyaert, Director of Project Portfolio and Change Management at Victoria Fide. Over the last 20 years, Rob has helped companies implement complex technology solutions from roles across project management, organizational change management, process improvement, and business operations and analysis. And he's also a contributor on the Digital Transformation Roadmap series. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Camilla. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm excited to talk with you about this latest chapter in our series. It's been really fun to work with you on it so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
The latest installment, Chapter 3, is a piece that centers around change agents. And so I wanted to ask you, what is the difference between a change practitioner, who's someone like Aaron, the OCM lead in our series, and a change agent? What is the difference between their roles?
Yeah, that's a great question. Erin is, as you referred to, a change practitioner, someone who has that expertise in change management. She comes into our story and our digital transformation with a lot of that expertise around how to best structure projects and build out a change plan, an organizational change management plan to best take advantage of all of the people on this project and make sure that we can get to the end and have user adoption, achieving our business goals, and really landing this not just with the technical implementation, but really truly ensuring that we have buy-in across the board. So she comes with that expertise, advising the project team and really advising the project stakeholders and sponsors and everyone that is working on the project to make sure that we can achieve these ultimate outcomes of success.
Mhm.
The change agents, they are involved with the project, really that they could play a number of different active roles on the project, whether it is business process owner, subject matter expert. They might be helping with training. They might be helping in a number of different capacities throughout the project. They might not even have a formal project role, but they are adjacent to all of the efforts that are happening here. They could also be a stakeholder, someone who is very excited and driven for the results of the project and the digital transformation could enable for the organization. They could be a number of different hats within the company. But why we think of them as a change agent and why we identify them and try to more formally recognize where they are and their impact throughout the digital transformation is because we recognize what they could do and the impact they could have if they are able to really help positively impact their team and those around them as we work through some of these very challenging project initiatives, these digital transformations that are long. They get into the weeds. They can be a grind. They are people that really help with keeping a positive frame of mind, keeping focused on the overall goals, thinking about the ultimate outcomes and the light at the end of the tunnel, and really helping keep motivation up for the rest of the team. So they're really the ones that might have that credibility with their team members and their peers, and the ones that could be the difference between a positive outcome and a negative outcome on the project. They're really in the trenches.
Yeah, that's great. So I feel like positivity, I mean, even
For
just
sure.
working with you and working with a team, positivity is really contagious. So
Absolutely.
I could see how that role would be really important.
That's exactly it. That positivity is really what we need because, again, these projects, these digital transformation efforts could take 6 months, 12 months, 18
Mm,
months, and they could really just be monotonous and they could be a slog, to be quite honest. But with having people involved that have that positivity, have that optimism, can help
mhm.
reframe and help keep people thinking about where this could take us. It really helps just keep the energy and the motivation up across the board, across the whole project team.
Yeah, absolutely. So talking a little bit about maybe personality a little bit more. In chapter 3 of the Digital Transformation Roadmap series, we meet two potential change agents, Frank and Marie. And what I find really interesting is that these are two people who could not be more different. And
Sure.
yet, it's clear that they are both really good candidates to be great change agents within their teams. So I wanted to ask, when you're looking for candidates for change agents, what are some of the biggest characteristics that leaders should be looking for, and what characteristics should maybe they try to avoid?
Sure, no, the great question, and yes, our Frank and Marie, they are very different people, but they also have a lot in common for the types of characteristics that we're looking for. They are people that have the credibility with their team. They are people that have a lot of expertise around the process areas with which they are a part of. They've got the ability to really help reframe some of the negativity and spin it in a positive way. They can think about the end in mind. Always framing things up with the end in mind is a principle of Stephen Covey's. Always
Mhm.
very important when we have people that can envision how successful uh, these large transformations could end up being, and in a positive way, kind of helping enable that positive outcome, those business success criteria that we're really working towards. Now, some of the things that we do want to avoid when we're kind of thinking about change agents, and where we kind of put people on the project team, and how we kind of pair people up, or we are making sure we got the right people in the group, or the opposite or the converse. We want to avoid people who, or make sure we have, some of these change agents with other people who might not be so optimistic about the outcomes,
Mm.
might be people who might have a lot of background and process expertise, but they are a little more protective of that knowledge, and they don't want to share some of that. So having someone who is very optimistic about change and can kind of work alongside them to kind of draw out some of their expertise, or give them kudos, or give them a pat on the back, or encourage them, helps. It's not like people who, when we talk about people who aren't ideal change agents, it doesn't mean that they're not a great fit for helping drive change management, helping drive
Mm.
our ultimate project results. They might just need a little push. They might need a little encouragement. So it's those people that might not always be thinking about things in that light, or might need a little encouragement, are the ones we really want to make sure that we pair, or make sure we include a change agent with, if we're doing a training, or if we're doing a certain activity, or a certain process review and reviewing design, uh, testing. Those types of activities is where we want to make sure that we kind of take our change agents and kind of plant them in amongst those other people who might not always see things in as positive of a light, but are
Mhm.
people who nonetheless we want to utilize. We want to put them to work to make sure we get the best results out of our project.
Mm. That's great. That's really fascinating stuff. Just hearing about how the inner workings and the team dynamics really come into play with these change initiatives. Do
Absolutely.
you do you have an example that you can share from your experience that demonstrates how change agents can really be the difference makers within a change initiative?
Absolutely. Change agents really can make that big difference. And again, we can manage a project on time, in scope, and on budget, and have it be an abject failure in terms of accomplishing the business goals, driving
Mhm.
user adoption. And these people can make that difference. And I can think about one project in particular where, yeah, overall, everything was going really well from an overall project management standpoint. We are getting through the project. We are getting through the end, or to the end, but it is a slog.
Mhm.
A word I've used already. It can be a lot of work, can be very tedious, and having a change agent involved with the project, or really kind of working with a few of these key people to really make sure that they're positioned amongst the different types of activities that we're doing to help uplift others on the team, made a huge difference. And in this example, this project ended up being extended from about 12 months to about 15 months in duration. Overall, it was going pretty well, I would say. But morale was going down. Things just things just took a long time to get decisions made. We had to pause at a couple different junctures to make sure that we did the right thing. We got the right designs completed. We addressed the right concerns. We addressed additional requirements where needed. But it really took a toll on the team because they just wanted to move on. They wanted to move forward. They didn't feel like some
Mhm.
of these different pieces were necessary. And having on this particular project, this one person to really kind of help frame up, hey, let's just take the time to do this the right way. Let's take the time to get the additional information, to figure out these additional business requirements, and make sure that the technology solution that we are setting up and enabling and designing is going to make the most sense. Because if we get this
Mhm.
right now, think of all the time that we can save later on.
Mm.
And so having someone like that was able to help with that narrative, help with that messaging during our design, during our testing, and during training really made a big difference to getting people, the others on the team, to really understand that, hey, we're taking the right steps, we're doing the right thing. This extra time is really needed to make sure that we do this the right way. And we're directly going to see the benefit from it in the end, which is a huge piece to change management. People
Yeah.
need to understand how this is going to impact them, what it really means for their role and their day to day. And the more they
Mhm.
can also understand that too, the better off they'll be, the more buy-in that they will have, and it really affects user adoption in a very positive light. So
Yeah,
an
that's
example of
wonderful.
where a change agent really made a difference. Yes, we could have got to the end, but we probably wouldn't have had that user adoption and really that ultimate buy-in.
Mm. Yeah, that's a great example. And thank you so much for sharing. This has been really fun to talk about, to think about everything that goes into change agents and the critical role that they play in projects, even if they might not have a formal project title, even.
Absolutely.
To read the latest chapter in our scenario-based execute stage series, you can click the link in the description below and subscribe on LinkedIn so you don't miss a single upcoming chapter. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this conversation and are interested in the intersection between business and technology, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.